Hey, it's Steven. And y'all probably wondering what I'm gonna step into today. And what I'm finna step into? Finna step into the world of One Piece. More importantly, the appeal of One Piece. Now, let's just subscribe to the friend. Y'all know what to do. Now, it's a lot of content creators and YouTubers and One Piece fans and lovers who do these different videos about One Piece. So my thing is, a lot of them share the same, beliefs and the same feelings I do about One Piece. So I was thinking, how about I pick one of their videos that I relate to, and use that to talk about One Piece and give my own opinion on One Piece, bouncing it off of what they already talked about. Cause it's a lot of One Piece content out there, y'all. I just want to get into the community and to meet some great people. And the person whose video I'm gonna be, using as a basis is The Appeal of One Piece, Where to Start by Super Eyepatch Wolf. And he made some good points in the video. So we finna get into it. Let's go ahead and do it.
For a while now, there has been a certain ominous shadow cast across this channel. You see, as a YouTuber, I'm generally known for four things: my long, in-depth videos, my love of all things shonen, my utterly flawless spelling, and my absolutely perfect pronunciation of the Japanese language. And the problem with those former two is that at some points it means that I need to do a video on the series One Piece. Which is fine, I like One Piece quite a lot, in fact. But the issue comes from how insanely long the series is, currently residing at its 833rd chapter.
Now, hey, I'm gonna let y'all know now. I'm gonna be popping in, popping out. At the recording of his video, they was at 833, but right now they at 1007 or 1008. So this is 3 years later. They still going strong.
And the staggering breadth of its world, which, according to the One Piece wiki, has currently 866 named characters. I know because I counted and it took a long time. So how does one talk about such a massive series like One Piece? Well, the answer that I've come to at least is the same way that one devours a whale, and that is piece by piece. One piece.
Fuck no, that's not good.
And so, what we're going to do here today is that rather than go straight into a full-blown why you should watch/read, which, don't worry, we will get to, is to first put out a shorter video covering what I consider some of the broader structural aspects of One Piece, which will then free us up and allow us to take a much deeper dive into the characters and themes later on. So with this in mind, my friends, please sit back, relax, and consider this an entree with the main course still to come. And let's discuss the appeal of One Piece. Where to start? I first encountered One Piece in 2006 on the UK television version of Toonami, and unbeknownst to me at the time, what I was watching was the infamous 4Kids dub, which would become well known over time for its questionable translation and excessive amounts of censorship.
Yeah, that's when I ran into One Piece too, y'all. It was on 4Kids TV, and I liked it how it was about pirates and about Luffy, how he was a rubber man. But I wasn't aware of the broader picture or the bigger world to where One Piece was being censored and a lot of things were changed compared to the original work. I didn't know that. I was just a kid watching it because it was for kids. Y'all see what I did there? But yeah, so I didn't know. And so, hey,
And even despite these factors, I really came to enjoy the adventures of Nami, Zoro, and of course Luffy. The series had a unique playfulness to it that made it stand out from other more stoic series I'd seen up until this point, like Bleach and Dragon Ball Z. And even in the show's more dramatic moments, there was always a tremendous amount of fun to be had. Of course, as I watched the imaginative pirate adventure on my parents' old TV, what I was completely unaware of was what a world-shattering phenomenon I was actually dealing with. That revelation would only strike me several years later, when, on a trip to Japan, it became obvious what a massive deal One Piece actually was. Around every corner in every shop seemed to lie another new piece of Straw Hat Pirate merchandise. Luffy and his ragtag crew were everywhere on everything. One Piece branded bread, One Piece bath salts, even entire One Piece branded shops. It was incredible to see how what I thought was a simple show about pirates utterly dominate the mass consciousness of a single country. The closest thing I could liken it to was the Simpsons mania of early 90s America. This was, of course, before I started looking into things like global sales figures and weekly shonen rankings. And if I had, I would have known things like the fact that One Piece has sold over 400 million units worldwide, making it the third biggest selling comic in existence, recently beating out Spider-Man for the number 3 spot, leaving only Batman and Superman ahead of it. And even then, in 2016, Batman sold 1,859,956 units, and Superman sold 828,069 units. And you could even roughly double the sales of both series by taking into account all their offshoot titles. And it still wouldn't even come close to the 12 million in sales that One Piece sold that same year. And where things really start to get crazy is that if these trends were to continue and One Piece were to run for another decade, it would nearly certainly surpass Batman in lifetime global sales. And if it were to run for another 2 decades, which for Oda's sake I hope doesn't happen, it would surpass even Superman, becoming the biggest selling comic in existence.
Now, he said decades and 1 decade and 2 decades. Recently, Oda said that he wants to wrap up the story of One Piece in 5 years. Now, with that being said, that leaves a lot of speculation of what he actually means. Do you or do I believe that he gonna finish One Piece in 5 years? Me, I'm gonna tell you my answer. I don't believe he gonna finish One Piece in 5 years. I feel like Luffy might discover the One Piece in 5 years, but it's so much to be, uncovered in the world of One Piece. It's a lot of, if the whole story ends in 5 years, One Piece will have a lot of plot holes, and a lot of fans will be, unhappy and dissatisfied if it was to just end in 5 years. So me personally, I can see One Piece going another decade. So I can see it. I can see One Piece going another decade. I can see Oda doing it.
I'm not saying I think this will happen, but it's a hell of a thing to consider. And so, how has a series about a pirate boy made of rubber managed to capture the hearts and minds of so many people worldwide? Well, to put it simply, the primary appeal of One Piece is the simple premise of adventure. And yes, that is also the core concept of countless other shonen series, but nothing really captures the same sense of scale and exploration as the world of pirates. Our hero on this voyage is the energetic young pirate, Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy is a simple character with a simple goal, to find the mysterious treasure only known as One Piece, and in doing so, become king of the pirates. This was Luffy's primary motivator from chapter 1 and remains so in chapter 834. And this keeps Luffy's journey along the one distinct path, which is a concept surprisingly unique to One Piece. In most other shonen series, our heroes will go on several different large adventures throughout the course of its run, and these are what make up the arcs. But in One Piece's case, it's always the same journey along the same path, to the point that you can actually chart Luffy's route out on a physical map. And the sub-arcs come from the various different islands or landmasses the crew encounters along the way. This works particularly well as it makes the core story of One Piece very easy to understand, while also allowing for a massive amount of variety in the series sub-arcs. Some can be very simple, like the Barity arc, in which the Straw Hats visit a famous sailing restaurant in order to recruit a chef. Or very complicated like the Dressrosa arc, in which the crew must untangle a web of political intrigue and face down a vicious and tyrannical false king. And because of how the arcs are structured, with literal massive quantities of ocean between them, there's no real limit to the kind of stories One Piece can tell. They start off fairly villain of the week-esque, with most enemies being rival pirate captains, but as we move on, we see the Straw Hats embroiled in government conspiracies, abducted by massive haunted ghost ships, springing jailbreaks, and even being at the center of large-scale global conflicts. And throughout the entire adventure, there's this real genuine sense of time and progress. When Luffy sets out on his journey from Fuchsia Village, he has little more to his name than a wooden dinghy and his straw hat. And now, 20 years later, he's an infamous pirate warlord, the world-famous captain of one of the most renowned pirate crews in all of existence, the Straw Hat Pirates, of whom include a master samurai, a technologically advanced pantsless cyborg, and even an undead violinist with a awful, amazing sense of humour. One of the core joys of One Piece is watching Luffy slowly ascend in status and build his crew as each new battle propels him closer to his dream while also increasing his notoriety worldwide. It's not ever a story you could accuse of moving quickly, but it is always moving, and I think it's only when you look back that you see how far Luffy and his crew have actually come. Of course, the success of an adventure series is largely dependent on the world the adventure takes place in, and this is another area where the series shines. One Piece's world, to put it simply, is the largest, most intricately detailed and well thought out of any of the long-running shonen series, which may not be obvious from the offbeat cartoonish designs of Oda's artwork, but make no mistake, this is a world of layers, with its own government, economy, cultural and racial divides, with many, many different factions, all of whom have their own philosophies and motivations. While Luffy and his crew are often at the center, or at least involved in large-scale global incidents, the world also progresses entirely separate to them. Major plot incidents completely separate from the Straw Hats are common, and when they do occur, they reverberate throughout the world on such a scale that it drastically affects the lives of every character in it, such as Porticus D. Ace's showdown with Blackbeard that resulted in the Great Summit War. It always feels like there's a larger picture in One Piece, and depending on the global political climate of the time, Luffy and the Straw Hats' allies and enemies can switch from arc to arc, giving the world...
I had to stop it real quick, y'all. I agree with him. Man, the world of One Piece is one amazing world, for the simple fact that things be happening around the whole world. The whole story, the main core of the story is about Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates, but everything that happens in the world does not revolve around him. It be other events going on while Luffy's still trekking his path, trying to go to the One Piece, trying to be king of the pirate. And so you meet all these different characters and see all these different environments and worlds and how all of it is intertwined, and it's just a lot. I do believe One Piece has the most developed world and is just a great world building anime compared to any other anime you throw at it. It's some ones that come close, but One Piece, I think, has it beat.
World, this intriguing, ever-changing dynamic. And so One Piece's world succeeds on a grand scale, but what may be even more impressive is the characters that Oda has filled it with. What at first can seem like a cartoonish gag character can, through Oda's storytelling, become a portrait of life at its cruelest and most tragic. And this information is often delivered through weighty flashback stories, in which we're taken through the key moments of a character's life. And while a badly used flashback can utterly kill the momentum of a series, Oda uses them in such a way to give his characters weight, grounding, and motivation that otherwise just wouldn't be possible. Like, seriously, you see this dumb-looking idiot in a diaper, this is Senor Pink, and this guy has a backstory that is absolutely heartbreaking, and upon hearing it, it completely changes everything about how you see him. Moving swiftly along... Actually, no, wait, no. I know some of you out there don't believe me, so we're gonna prove it. Let's do this. Senor Pink started out his adult life as a member of the brutal Don Quixote crime family, where his days were frequently filled with criminal activity and brutal violence. Until one day, in the pouring rain, he met a woman who he immediately fell in love with. They got married, had a child, and for a while at least, everything was perfect. Except that Pink was still involved in the Don Quixote family, which he hid from his wife for fear that she might leave him. One day he's called away on a secret mission and disappears for an entire week, and upon returning, discovers that the day he left, his precious son had passed away, and now his wife, furious and heartbroken, demands an explanation, and he tells her everything, at which point she demands he stay away from her, rushes from the home in the pouring rain, before getting into an accident that leaves her in a vegetative state. Pink, devastated by the events, visits her every day in hospital, until one day, on a whim, puts on a bonnet reminiscent of their son in an attempt to entertain her, and miraculously, she cracks a small, delicate smile. And so, for the sake of seeing his wife smile, he continues to dress more and more elaborately, even enduring the ridicule of everyone around him. Years later, his wife too has passed, but he still dresses this way out of remembrance for her and of his beloved son. And so, one of the silliest looking characters in One Piece actually has legitimate character motivation for dressing this way. And in justifying this, he becomes an actual grounded, tangible character. What really gets me here is that this is one tiny, inconsequential character in One Piece's world. And yet still, Oda manages to imbue him with a sense of depth and grounding many writers fail to give even their main protagonists. And that's to say nothing of the amazing job Oda's done in establishing the main major heroes and villains of One Piece's story. Having so many characters with such fleshed out histories and motivation is the primary factor that makes One Piece's worlds feel so vivid and alive, and makes each individual character feel like a true story in their own right. The last thing I'd like to talk about with One Piece is also one of its least tangible elements, and that is the creativity and imagination that's gone into it. There's always a sense that when reading One Piece, Oda himself is enjoying the world and characters more than anyone. It can be seen in the new and creative ways Luffy uses his at first seemingly limited power. It can be seen in the bizarre visual design of many of the world's inhabitants and the camaraderie that takes place between the Straw Hats, and even in the ever-evolving, unique structure of Oda's story arcs. He always seems like an author not striving to hit a deadline, but an artist creating a world and story distinctly of his own vision. This is something we're going to dig a lot deeper into in a future video, but for now, just trust me, simply no one writes a story like Ichiro Oda. So with all that in mind, where should you start? Well, the obvious answer is page 1, chapter 1. The manga is for the most part a fantastic read, but I understand people's reluctance to get into it given its insane length. And the anime comes with many of its own issues too, such as a weak production run and masses of filler. But if you're curious to know if One Piece really is for you or not, or even if you just want to dip your toe in, allow me to present a different option.
I'm gonna let him say his, choice or opinion on what he feel like, you all should start One Piece, checking it out, and then I'm gonna give my own
Option, and that is the fantastic One Piece Movie 6, Baron Amatsuri and the Secret Islands. Directed by Mamoru Hosoda of the Digimon movie The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Summer Wars, the movie encapsulates in a digestible 90 minutes everything that makes One Piece as a series so much fun, on top of having some absolutely gorgeous animation and character designs, and one of the darkest and hardest right turns I've seen in any film for a while. It requires basically no prior knowledge of One Piece or its world to enjoy, and I think even if you have zero interest in One Piece, seeing one of Japan's most talented directors put his own unique spin on the world of pirates is absolutely worth checking out. Guys, that's going to do it for my intro into One Piece, and there is still a ton more we need to talk about. The characters, their themes, Oda's unique visual aesthetic, and what cursed fruit he ate in order to actually be able to constantly produce a manga of such quality, and we shall in a full-blown why you should watch/read One Piece coming later this year.
Hey, shout out to Super Eyepatch Wolf for the video. It's a good video. Y'all should check it out yourself. And yeah. Now, like I said, he said that he feel like y'all should check out the movie, the 6th movie, and that be y'all starting point. Me personally, I have two opinions on this, and I agree with him on you start at page 1. Start at episode 1 of the anime One Piece. And my personal opinion would be, if you feel like you just cannot, it's too much to, cover and go back and try to catch up. You never feel like you're going to catch up. Best way to catch up is to read the mangas. Read the mangas. You'll catch up faster reading the mangas. 2, me personally, I feel like if you just want to get into One Piece, you should start when the Straw Hats first go to Sabaody Archipelago. Me personally, that's my personal opinion. I don't want you to skip none of One Piece, but if I just had to say you needed to go somewhere to catch up, if you just wanted to be up to date real fast, Sabaody, the first time they went to Sabaody Archipelago. That's the route I feel like you should take, because it drives you straight into one of the best arcs One Piece has given us, the Marineford War. Even though Sabaody Archipelago is one of my favorite arcs too, because you learn more about the celestial dragons. I ain't gonna go too deep into it because I know a lot of people don't know it, unless you're a One Piece fan, don't know about it. Now, for people that don't know if One Piece is for them, I would say start at chapter 1. Start at episode 1. Try your best to go all the way to Arlong Park. If you don't like it after Arlong Park, that's fine. Try something else. But if Arlong Park don't hook you, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's when One Piece, I feel like, put they flag in the ground and said, we here. Arlong Park is a great arc. It's right out the Bartier after they pick up Sanji. But y'all, hey, that's all I got. That's all I got. One Piece is a fantastic anime. It's my favorite anime. It's definitely my top 3. It's one of my favorite animes. I mean, I hold it in so much high regard compared to a lot of other animes. One Piece is the GOAT. And so, also, that I had to put this in another video, but you can see why it's the leader of Shonen. You can see why it was a part of the big 3. And you can see why it still lives on, even though the big 3 is really not a big 3 anymore. Bleach, Naruto. Hey, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. Hey, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and make sure you come back here, because I'm definitely going to put out another video. With that being said, step into your blessings and take care of yourself.